Hello, welcome in. Today I'm going to be diving into a client case study on this very rainy Sunday morning. So, who I'm going to be speaking about today is a certified clinical hemodialysis technician. She dropped 29 pounds in 4 months with us with back and knee injuries. So, let's go. Let's dive in. I'm excited. So, about me, my name is Megan. I personally come from a background working in prior military, prior law enforcement. I did, in fact, struggle with my own fitness journey after gaining 30 pounds when I got out of the academy into law enforcement. I was rotating 2 weeks days, 2 weeks nights, brand new. So we were having to come in an hour earlier before our shift even started because with our department, we actually had to take out the trash, get the coffee first thing in the morning, especially if you're first car. It was absolutely terrible on top of being held over late, right? When you're the brand new person, you're taking all the reports. So my 12s easily turned into 16 plus hour days and the weight jumped on, especially because we were eating on the go a lot, being in my vehicle, back to back calls, all that fun stuff. So at this point in time, I've helped almost 1,000 women, shift workers, and military with their fitness and health goals. I built a team of women who have worked shift work as well, anywhere from 12 to 48 hours, nights, overtime, being in a vehicle. You can see, right? I also, like I said, I did military. Denise, prior law enforcement. We have Coach Casey, who is prior fire, Coach Lisa, who actually did EMS, fire, and law enforcement. And then we have Coach Christy, who does vet tech. So she has some background there, which she's also worked nights. Lisa's also worked nights. Casey's worked nights. Denise, I believe she works some nights too. And what we find is ultimately, these professions, these jobs are very demanding. So I wanted to ensure that coming into this, I had a full staff team of women who not only understood what it's like to be moms, to have hormonal issues, to gone through surgeries and stuff like that and injuries, but they also did the job before. So let's keep it going. All right, it's a little bit about clients. I just threw a bunch of stuff together. We got loads and loads and loads of these. We've worked from anywhere between law enforcement. I've worked with government employees, fire, EMS, paramedics, at this point, pilots. I've seen so many jobs, cybersecurity, everything like that. So let's dive into this client, and just kind of break things down for you guys to give you a really clear understanding on where she came in at. So she came in, right, and this is not her first rodeo with a coach. She has done other things in the past. She did powerlifting, and she came in very open and ready to make some changes, which is the number one thing when I speak with someone, either myself or Janine. We are looking to see, how ready is this person? If it feels like we're pulling teeth and we feel like we forced you onto this call, it's geared towards them, right? This whole thing is a consultation to ensure hey, we want to make sure we can help you. We want to talk about why you're struggling, where you're having these gaps, so we can identify them, relay it back to our team, 10x your results as quickly as possible. And in my opinion, if I get on a call with someone who's either not ready, if they feel like they were pushed onto a consultation to talk about their goals, it just seems really weird to me. But this client came in open, ready to make some changes. And like I said, she did work with a coach before. I'm going to play this. Obviously, I block out the client, but this is me on the consultation.
It wasn't even enough calories to sustain me up to my list for the day. It was
Yeah.
every single way. It was like a cup of rice and then maybe 5 ounces of chicken and stuff, and it was not ideal.
Yeah, where you're this is for the opposite. I mean, for powerlifters, you guys need to eat a significant more. And that's the thing, right? I see this happen all the time. Clients are getting the wrong type of nutritional support for what their goals are. She went to a powerlifting coach. She tried doing things. She was getting sick because she was under fueling. And without the knowledge, that's why she's hired a coach, right? She wants the knowledge of hey, I need to make sure I'm doing this the correct way. And unfortunately, that did not happen. So we came in, we mapped out her strategy, what I believe would get her to the result that she was looking for, what she needed to start actually getting the weight off. She complained she does have back and knee problems, that she needs to get the weight off because of that. So she actually was in PT. She's been in PT for the past 5 years. So for us, right, we don't want to come up with a plan that's going to basically beat her up and cause more harm than good, we want to make sure we're basically pairing things up. She's still in PT once a week. We want to make sure what we're doing is actually helping her. So I just want you guys to understand too, like when people are coming in and doing things like this fitness assessment is ensuring like we have all this stuff written down. It's our data bank essentially on what we can kind of get an idea, right? Imagine walking into like a store and then someone just like knowing immediately what you want. It's really hard to do, right? Unless you had something completely right now. You gave it to them prior to even stepping in the store. They had all of your wants and needs and what you're kind of looking for, what you can do, what you can't do, what you can afford, right? Like let's say you're shopping for like clothes, what you can't afford, or like what's in your budget, what you're kind of like avoiding, certain colors, all that stuff, right? We do the same thing. We come up with a solution so that way when a client actually comes into our store, right, they're basically given a layout of exactly what they're going to be doing that we understand is going to help them, but also too mimics what they can and cannot do as well. So again, another big thing, right, is we were able to locate the gaps. We're able to figure out this data on a client in a matter of a few days in order to 10x the results. And this is a big thing, right? The more clients give us, the better they have in terms of results, and just it's just a really good process once we get as much information as possible. And I'm going to go over this again, but this is her why. She wanted to be healthy. She realized she had gotten lazy after work and needed more structure. She kind of recognized that. She was like, look, like I'm just coming home. I'm like on my off hours, I'm just vegging. I'm not doing anything productive with my life. I'm noticing it's making my job harder. I'm noticing I'm not fitting in clothes anymore. I'm noticing all these issues and I don't feel confident. And she wanted more structure. She wanted more energy and she just wanted to be active again. She's still young. She's like 27 years old. So she's not in a place where she's got like kids or anything crazy like that. But she just noticed like I'm just not myself anymore because of my injuries, and I just felt like all this stuff has happened over the years, right? She had a back injury. She had 3 surgeries, and then her ACLs have been reconstructed. So she doesn't feel like that age, you know what I mean? So for her, she just started to notice like her life kind of slipping away and was like, I gotta do something. Because she was only doing physical therapy, like I said, 1 hour a week. And she was working full time, coming home, unwinding, going physical therapy, all that stuff. And like I said before, she did powerlifting, but actually had no idea on how to properly lose weight and keep it off, because with powerlifters, I don't know if you caught that on that last slide, but their goal is to lift as much as physically possible. So they're not little tiny people, right? They're usually a little bit bigger. So we got to make sure like she understands her mindset would need to shift. We're not trying to lift as much as possible, right? We still want you to be strong, but at the same time, we want to make sure like we're getting a lot of that unnecessary weight off just to help with all these injuries long term. Right? So you can see here, she started back in actually the beginning of the year. Great time to start, right? Because summer's here now and she's down 29. I think I just saw her assessment, so I think she's down 30 pounds. Actually, I didn't add that in here because like this is the most updated weight I had in my system. But yeah, like clients come in, they can lose anywhere from 10 to 40 pounds with us, just depending on how determined they are. So, she went from around, was it 220? Now she's probably at like 190, maybe a little bit lower at the point of me recording this. But I want to really preface this. The only thing we had her do was work out 3 days a week for 1 hour. This is on top of the hour that she has with the physical therapy. But under an hour, 3 days a week. We did not starve her in order to drop weight. We didn't do a quick fix. We taught her how to act and eat like a normal human, but the key element here is how to manipulate foods, right? You heard her in that last video. The last coach she had, it was a terrible experience. And for me and for like my coaches, our job is not to recreate that terrible experience. We want to ensure like at the end of the day, like clients are actually learning how to use food forever so that they never need to feel like they have to do something like that. They never need to work with a coach who's going to teach them, oh, just follow this super restrictive 1-sheet piece of paper. Here's your yes foods and here's your no foods. Good luck. And then when you complain about it, they say just eat it anyway. It's not how things are supposed to work. So I just want you guys to be very clear on that if you're watching this. And extensive notes. We track everything and know how to max client results. So this was everything that, like, not everything because it kept going and I just don't want to take all these snapshots, but this is what Coach Denise was ensuring. She was like noting, the 30th of March, and then she did the 6th. The client was worried about fat loss slowing. We implemented, like, what are we going to do? She wants to start running maybe later this year, right? She wants to see more weight loss before that. So like our coaches are going through on where, when, sending videos, how we're looking at their progress, stress, sleep, chronic headaches, sickness, all this stuff when their energy is dropping. Because here's the thing, like the more data we get on people, the better we can maximize what their end result looks like. Because this is a missing piece. And this is why I'm not a fan of in-person trainers, because what happens? Like all this stuff goes on throughout your day, your week. You don't talk about this stuff. You maybe show up there, you have 30 minutes to an hour, and all they're doing is throwing like a workout at you. They're not peeling back your life throughout the 23 plus hours of that day. And it's incredibly powerful when a client has had that before, like she worked with that powerlifting coach, and I believe it was in person, compared to this. And immediately, right, the results in a maximum amount of time, right, is just insane, because for her, she's actually having someone pinpoint every little thing inside of her life, adjust, modify, ask questions, see where how you're feeling, what do we need to do, how do you like, how's your, I mean, she does, and like how her period, you know what I mean? Just things that a lot of in-person coaches are never gonna pay attention to. And unfortunately, there's a lot of online coaching programs out there that won't either, because again, it's generic. Our job is not to have like hundreds and thousands of women in at the same time. We have a small program, right? We don't have all those types of women in there because they get lost. And if you've had a coaching program like that before, and your coaches weren't this detailed in terms of like what's going on, it's probably because like, there's a lot more in there than you expected, and you're just not getting that high touch support. And that's what we're doing with these clients, high touch support, which ultimately leads them to getting the end result much faster, because we're able to pinpoint those gaps, right? Exactly what I was talking about before, like laser pointed, right? Coach Denise on our team, she's got over 20 years in the space. Plus, she's prior law enforcement. Plus, she's had 3 back surgeries. She's worked alongside a physical therapist too. So, like, it's hard to find that type of expertise and know how to kind of manage all these other things that are going on in someone else's life. When you go to Crunch Fitness and it's an 18-year-old who got their certification in a weekend, and I wish I was kidding, but I worked in gyms before, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm going to tell you exactly how to do this yourself right now, okay? How you do this is you need to, and this is going to be really hard for a lot of people that are watching this. You're like, no way, you're full of it. I need you to erase all of the years of misinformation that you've been basically shoved down your throat when it comes to the fitness space. You need to build a realistic plan for your life. Again, that client is only working out 3 days per week under an hour. She's not working out 5-6 days a week. She's not doing 2-hour workouts. Less is going to be more. I need you guys to understand that. Less is more. I struggled with this for a really long time due to my prior experience, right? Think about it. I did 3 police academies and I did basic training. What do you think was smashed into my head? Work hard, lift heavier, burn yourself out, run yourself into the ground. That's exactly how you're supposed to get results. Starve yourself, because that's what happened in the academy, and look, you were super lean. It's not realistic. It's not something that you can sustain, especially as women. We burn out. Like, my hair was falling out. I was skin and bones. I had absolutely no energy. My strength was next to none. I had no muscle definition, and it just wasn't healthy. And you gotta like really start to think about this. Like, if you're working out 2 days, if you're doing too much and you're working 12-hour shifts, like, you have to pull back, and you have to be okay with that. Once you get accustomed to it, it will be a lot easier. All right. So that's your first goal. Figure out your nutritional gaps. Nutrition comes down to seeing what you're lacking, and once you unlock that answer, the fat loss increases. So most people cannot figure this out. I have other, like, check out more of my channel for trainings and tips at the bottom. I do have a whole explanation on it, and I think it's like my video that dives into how to never fail a diet. I think that's the name of it. So you can watch that one. But everyone has gaps in their nutrition. Most people, most women that we've have come through, and again, we've had almost 1,000 women come in at this point. I can almost always pinpoint how much protein someone's eating directly on a consultation. I can immediately tell when they start talking about their nutrition. Most women get in between either 60 to 80 grams per day, their maximum. You need to probably increase that. And it's not hard to do. It just comes down to like understanding again how to manipulate foods. So watch that other video that I have on my channel if you want. Also, too, like the third thing is stop quitting everything you love. I see so many women trying to stop eating and doing things that they enjoy in order to get results. They believe that they need to get into a gym 6 days a week and they hate it. Or they believe that they need to, meal prep for hours and hours and hours every Sunday. You don't really need to do that stuff. It sounds crazy. It sounds bizarre. They think that they need to eat completely different than what their husband or their kids are doing. They can never go out to eat. It's not true. It ends up being incredibly short-lived and you will never be able to maintain it. So that's another thing. Like just be realistic. Stop quitting everything you love. Find out your nutritional gaps. Less is more, and you will understand that when you can actually make this stuff mesh into your life, it doesn't have to be as hard as everyone else is making it out to be. There are a lot of fitness influencers out there. I get it. We follow a lot of people. Everybody looks super great. But you gotta also come to terms with too, like these people they're spending their 9 to 5 is like working out, eating well, coming up with like recipes, videotaping themselves. Like we gotta find and you need to find something that's actually going to make you a better mom, build you more confidence, make you perform better for work, not try to cut you down to next to no body fat. So that way you can't even show up and fight somebody if you're in law enforcement, or you can't pass your PT test because you're in the military, or you can't lift, a patient because you're just too frail because you've lost so much weight and now you feel like junk. You need to do something that's realistic, okay? And I just need like mindset shifts right there. I'm sure I got some mindset stuff on my YouTube as well. But I wanted to share days. And at the end of the day, right, she's still having like Chick-fil-A. She's still having Jimmy Dean's like waffles and stuff and jelly beans. Like I just want you guys to know, like people inside my program are not eating boring stuff. Like I had one client I talked to the other day, she's literally like, I can eat whatever I want, literally straight out of her mouth. And it really lights me up because I just see like this conveyor belt of women that were just like ultimately changing their mindset. And if anything, I want you to know you can 100% learn how to eat what you want and still lose weight. Okay? Like number one. So check out more of my channel for more trainings. But if you're someone that wants actual like help outside of this, like you want to know what we do, how we do things, everything we do is custom. It's not an ebook. It's not an app with generic plans. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. We do not do month to month. My program is 4 months long. I do have variations of it. So depending on what your needs are, we always get on a consultation to dive into things to ensure ultimately we can help you, and then dive into like program options, different plan breakdowns, all that fun stuff, which are also customized based on the individual level. So if you want to learn more, there'll be a link below that you can click on there. Schedule a consultation. How we create these proven systems is a 3-part structure that I've created over the years: my fat burner blueprint, my goal body bundle, and my lifestyle recalibration. Ultimately, when we combine all 3, we found that they get clients noticeable results within the time that they work with us. So it's another really big piece of the puzzle that most people are missing, is they focus on maybe one thing, right? When you just have one and not all 3, it's very easy to see why people fail, because they're it's like trying to put a piece of a puzzle into the wrong spot and it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? So that's why most people struggle. So like these are all 3 that we use inside. And this is the program that women, shift workers, and military join after they tried it all. They tried everything: apps, ebooks, online coaches, in-person trainers, diets, surgeries, GLP-1 shots. We have seen it all. And this is the one thing that they have found, and I have found. I've been doing the same systems for close to 8 years now, and it hasn't failed me yet. So we've seen everything between perimenopause, postpartum, injuries. If you want to learn more, my website is right here. If you want to text us to learn more, right here. My Instagram is right here. But this is for you. If you're ready to invest in a program, that'll be the last fitness program you'll ever need. Again, this is the customized program. We're not a $50 a month program. So just be like, understand that this is an investment in yourself. It's hopefully the last investment you'll ever need. You want results that are realistic and not a quick fix, right? We're not here to go back to things that you think will work because it hasn't worked. If it did, right, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. You're ready to commit and follow direction from an expert with over 10 years experience. You follow direction and again are open to feedback. We don't want to work with people who are going to fight us tooth and nail. Clearly this client listened to everything we did and it has 10x what she probably would not have been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. So again, we want to make sure people that are coming inside of here, the women that we serve, are ready, open. They're tired of trying and failing, and they want that accountability, the structure, the support, and the guesswork removed. So if that interests you, go ahead, click on, there's some links below. If you just want to keep doing things yourself, no worries. Like, plenty of information inside of my YouTube channel. I'm going to keep dumping these clients' case studies out. Important. I've had a lot of women come through, and I just want to unravel like how we're doing it.